Hey everyone, hope you guys are doing well, and wanted to take a couple minutes and walk you through the Sunday planning process that I have used consistently for, I think, right at this is probably our fourth year of going into using this simple process. But the process has really exponentially increased my productivity, allowing me to do more, as well as those that have adopted this process. Just the productivity has shot through the roof, not only in their business but in their life as well. And just one thing that I wanted to really point out: this is called the Sunday Planning 168, and the 168 is the number of hours that you and I, everybody has every week to get the most out of life during that amount of time. The real formula is backing out sleep and the other maintenance, taking care of ourselves, and it's going to leave a ballpark number of 100. So really, that's kind of the number that we have to work with to really maximize our lives and our business. So the reason that it's Sunday Planning 168 is because it's something that you have to do every week, and the reason is that every week is different. So you could be in a training, you could be spending time with family. Just every week is different. So part of the process is to get a look at it. And I'm going to, walk you all through this process. But I just want you to keep that in mind, that every week's different. We're going to work more, work less. And so just really embracing this whole concept, this whole process. So here we go. All right. So Sunday Planning 168, a couple things to kind of be mindful of. We throw out, MVP, HLA, HLVA, non-negotiables, and these can all be referenced right here. MVPs are our most valuable priorities. HLAs are our high leveraged activities. HLVAs, high lifetime value activities. Non-negotiables are the activities that are a must, right? These are always in the calendar: date night, working out, time with kiddos, etc. And a lot of those non-negotiables that you'll see there also fall into our high lifetime value activities. I like to reference Hal Elrod's The Miracle Morning, where he has his savers. So the silence, the affirmation, visualization, exercise, reading, scribing, spending time, deepening of relationships, those non-negotiables, those are all high lifetime value activities. Our high leveraged activities are the handful of things that increase our productivity that gets us the results that we're after. Now, remember, all productivity is getting the results we want. If you're not getting the results you want, you are not being productive. You are being busy. So there is a difference. So HLA are the key drivers that really get us those results. In real estate, it's only a handful, right? It's lead generation, branding, marketing activities. It's then lead conversion activities. It is pitching your offer to buyers, sellers, or real estate agents, delivering your value. What is my value proposition? Getting them presentation, negotiating deals, and if you're still working with some buyers, showing properties. So there's really only about 4 or 5 things that really matter in the real estate game that are considered our HLAs. And the MVPs are obviously our most valuable priorities. We'll talk about that in just a second. And I'm going to give you another little math equation. Remember, all businesses is just math. And so the equation to maximize our productivity and how much time we should be allocating on our HLAs, the number is 70% of your working time. So if you are going to work 50 hours this week, then 70%, 35 hours better be dedicated to those 5 activities. So just a little simple math equation there for you to check and balance in your calendar. So here's part 1 of the Sunday process that we go through. And it starts off with acknowledging and reviewing the past week. You're looking for the things that went really well. What were some great accomplishments that we had for this past week? What were those daily wins? What did we accomplish? What are we proud of? And it's really, really important to take the time and acknowledge this, especially since most of folks that are really going to embrace this process, that are high driving D personalities, entrepreneurs that want to get more out of what they're doing, tend to just keep looking forward and not acknowledging the things that they've accomplished. And where this really reinforces our belief is when things get real tough. And when things get tough, about every day. And everything in life worth pursuing is uphill. And the only way we get uphill is by being intentional. And when we feel like that boulder is coming down on us and pushing us back down the hill, we have to really look at how far we've come and really anchor in those wins, because truthful, every one of you are winning every day. And so take the time and acknowledge those accomplishments. Second is lessons learned, right? If we're moving forward, we're failing and we're learning. What were the lessons that we learned from our failures this past week in business and life, in our leadership abilities, in our communication, in our effort? What were those lessons learned? How can we correct those and make those adjustments to the upcoming 168 for us to, get a little bit better this week? So those are the first two steps. Then move into the Sunday planning document. So this is the document, the layout that I have followed. It's obviously added a few things here and there, but up in the top left is our BHAG measurables. We all have a BHAG. If not, you better get one. The BHAG is your big, hairy, audacious goal. And what are the measurables around that big, hairy, audacious goal? Ideally, BHAGs are about 10 years out. It's the top of the mountain. It's the pinnacle. And so what are those measurables? Now, keep in mind, anything that is a measurable is a number, okay? So what is that number that we have to know when we attack and we hit our BHAG? And it could be anything. It could be a financial target. It could be a profit target. It could be a number of a headcount target. Whatever your BHAG is, what are those measurables? Then the other thing that we want to keep in focus is our 1-year key measurables. So again, what are those? Where do we need to be in the next 12 months that's going to make sure we're progressing towards our BHAG? So what are those measurables around your 1 year? Then I like to have, what are the rewards? What's the reward when we hit those measurables? Is it, a vacation, a destination vacation that you're wanting? Is it a timepiece that you're wanting? Is it a second home, right? Whatever it is for you, make sure you have that. You don't want to lose sight of it. It's just like having our vision board. If we're always looking at it, our brain goes into problem solving mode to figure out how we're going to make it happen. So get those measurables up there. We're looking at them every day, every week in our Sunday planning process. Obviously, get your dates in there. And then I like to have a couple key phrases. So find whatever key phrases work for you. A couple of mine right there. Don't get comfortable. Be the most disciplined. Be the most consistent. Focus on the process, not the outcome. Whatever key phrases, things, little reminders to keep us on track that work for you, put those there. I added over here a favorite quote. It tends, I don't know if you guys are, like this, but I tend to gravitate around favorite quotes every so often. And I see something that really, really drives me and helps motivate me during the hard times. And so whatever that favorite quote for you is, it's really powerful to have that to where you're always looking at it. The quote that's really resonating with you at the time. And, for me, I've shared this with a lot of you, is Garrett White's quote: "If the king doesn't rise, the queen and kingdom dies." So that's my favorite quote right now. That's the one that resonates with me the most, to be better each and every day. Now we move into a refocus of what our big 4 goals for this quarter, for the quarter that you're in. Those and 4, like, geez, John, that's a bunch. Yeah, I get it. The first 3 are typically around my business. Okay. So no more than 3. Sometimes it's less, and I would strongly encourage you to not have any more than that. And those are the big goals around your business. What are you committed to this quarter to accomplish? That's in alignment to where you want to be in 12 months, and that's also in alignment to that big, hairy, audacious goal that you're after. So whatever those goals are. Now, I pull those from our strategic plan. So if you're not using a strategic plan, hit me up. I'll give you kind of a walkthrough of our one-page strategic plan, our planning process, to help you get clear on what those rocks are, those priorities, those goals. And I don't rewrite the entire goal here every week. I write down the key tactical items that we need to be making progress on to move us closer to those goals. And you heard me just say we, because there is nothing in this life you're going to accomplish by yourself. It takes a team. It takes who's around you. So every one of my goals has a who associated with it. And that who could be a new team member. It could also be a mentor. It could be a coach. It could be, a training program that you're going through, but there is a who associated to every goal. This was a big, big get for me. And it took a while to get there to have that connection. The other connection is that it helps me determine what I'm going to consume, what I'm going to be reading. It's really important that we're consuming information that is going to help us accomplish the things that we want to accomplish. And so if you're like real tight on time for reading, I love Audible. It's really hard for me to sit down and actually read, but Audible is always on. And so with podcasts now in Audible, you can, if you want to, consume all of your content through the Audible app, it's a fantastic way to do that. But what I would recommend is that what you're consuming is helping you accomplish the goals that you have for this given time of your life. Now, big goal number 4. For me, big goal number 4 is always something big, that project that's consuming a lot of my time and energy and effort. Big goal number 4 for me right now is focused on endurance training and endurance events. It could be a remodel project. It could be a rehab project. Right? It could be whatever is a big goal for you, though. That's what I use big goal number 4. So goals 1, 2, 3 align to my business. Big goal number 4 aligns to the big physical for me, something big that I'm focused on outside of my business. So those are the big goal number 4s. Down at the bottom, I'm gonna hit the MVPs first. The MVPs are the 3 most valuable things that I have to make sure we make progress on this week. What are those 3 things? And they get pulled from what's above out of the big 4 goals. What are the 3 most important things that no matter what have to get done in this next 168 for us to continue to make progress for this quarter, for this year, and moving us closer to our BHAG? So what are those 3 things? Then over here on the left, at the bottom left, are our Gotta minutes. This is really, really critical. Gotta minutes are anything that that need to get done that really don't warrant enough time to put them into the calendar. Where the Gotta minutes are extremely powerful, they help us fight off the force of distraction. The force of distraction is real. Now, let's go back to our 168 equation. Okay. We know we say, hey, we got about 100 hours. Statistically, distractions take 20 to 30 hours of our week every week. So if that is true, what are you doing to fight off that force of distraction? For me, it's being crystal clear on my Gotta minutes. So, 70% of my time working is working with clients. And so when a client needs to reschedule or a client needs to shift or they're running a little bit late, I have a couple options. I'm going to accommodate. We're going to adjust. And I have a couple options. I can go down the distraction rabbit hole, which for most of us is social media, or I can look at my Gotta minutes and take action on those items. So for me, that's the best way that I have found to fight off the force of distraction and not go down the rabbit holes, is to be clear on my Got It minutes. And as soon as I catch a little break in the calendar, I go right to those. So for you, if you guys, a client cancels or a client's running late, if you know you've got something to go to that you can just start knocking out, then that's where you'll want to go. You want to tap in right into your Got It minutes. So this is really key. Now, here's where we're going to, we do this work, right? It helps us gain more clarity on the upcoming week. And then where the rubber meets the road, right? None of this will matter if you don't do this next step. The next step is getting these items into your calendar. So we want to review and set our calendar for the week. We want to make the most of our 168. Now, right things, right order. HLVAs, add it in first. Your high leveraged, your high lifetime value activities are added in first. And this is where a lot of people mess up. Most people mess up. They put their work activities in first. That's wrong. That's not the right things in right order. The right thing that goes in is the high lifetime value activity first. Get those in the calendar. Now, next step is putting our non-negotiables in, okay? Non-negotiables, whatever those are for you, get those in the calendar. Next, your high lifetime activities, okay? Your HLAs, high leveraged activities go in next. So real estate, it's our, if we're not showing properties, right, not negotiating deals, we're not on appointments, then, 70% of our working time is going to be around lead gen, lead conversion, building brand, right? Those things are going to go in. It doesn't matter. Whatever your allocation of time based upon where you're at in your business, those HLAs go in next. Then the MVPs from our Sunday planning worksheet, the MVPs, your 3 MVPs get added in. Ideally, I love if I can get 90 minutes around each one of those. Sometimes they don't take that long, but sometimes 60 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes, depending upon what they are. Try to allocate that amount of time to get those added in. Workout schedule is in. Knowing you don't want to show up to the gym trying to figure out what you're going to do. Go ahead and take the time during this planning process to get those allocated and added into the calendar. Meal schedule. This is another really big deal. We have, I think I can just show you guys. So let me do this real quick. So for us, we have this little dry erase board, and with the dry erase board, we go through. It has every day, and we lay out the meals. We lay out our meal, what we're going to do for meals for the week. We don't have to guess. We take the time based upon the calendar when we're available, what we're going to be doing, kind of the flight plan of the whole family's life. And we take that time and we lay out what the meal is going to be. The next thing that we do is that we go through and we identify what do we need for those meals for the week. So then we make the grocery list. We use Microsoft. We used to use Wunderlist. We use Microsoft, the Microsoft To Do, and we just have a list in there for groceries, and it gets added. The next, once the grocery list is put together, we have Kroger here, so we do a Kroger click list, and either dropping kiddos off at school and running over there and picking it up. We just do it when we're going to be going by. It's convenient and when we need to do it. So meal schedule is taken care of. It's in there. We don't have to think about it. You're not going to get that text at 4 o'clock saying, "Hey, what are we doing for dinner tonight?" So take the time, lay that out. Take the time, lay out your kids' schedule. You know what they've got going on. Or so important to go ahead and think through that and make sure that everything adjusts and aligns within the calendar. And then the last step, and I'll give you the example of it just in a second here, is taking the time to lay out and know the social media content and strategy and things that you need to do for the week. If you don't have time on Sunday, try to allocate some time early Monday to lay it out at least have Monday laid out. However, just get 7 days of that content, and I'll show you here in just a second what good little process that can work for you. So here's the example, kind of a calendar example of a week. And I just kind of laid out based upon for me where I'm at right now with my business and my life. This is kind of a real example of what my calendar looks like these days. So there's a little example there for you as well. All right. So the last part, and it was part of the checklist there of items, is take the time to lay out that your social media content. What are the pieces of content that you're going to get out during these days, during the week, and just spend a little bit of time creating that content, creating those pieces, so you are able to not have to guess about it and think about it the day of, and excuse me, spend time on those platforms, end up being distracted. Take the time, be intentional with what's going to go. And so you can have leverage, you can have some help with it, but no matter what, you have it laid out, the content, the hooks, kind of the content piece, the story, and then what's the offer? What are you telling people to do at the end of that content that you're getting out there? You can use tools like Loomly is one of, I've got quite a few clients that are using Loomly, Loomly.com, Loomly.com. And that's it's a great tool to help plan out. I know there's other ones that you can look at that you can get the content in and, just hit the button and it'll send out on those days. So whatever works for you, having, to be able to get that content out, but at least taking the time, being intentional and thinking about it is going to be really, really key. So that's it, guys. That's the Sunday planning guide. That's Sunday planning process, Sunday planning 168. And, I really thank you guys for, taking the time going through this. And I really cannot wait to hear everybody's transformation, right, of how more productive they've been able to go with using this guide and, changing their business as well as changing their life. One little thing that I want to touch on as we kind of wrap up is that I highly recommend you guys going through the Exponential Growth Strategy Masterclass I did called HLAs and Calendar. So please take the time, go through that. It really goes into more detail of how, once you have these items, of how to really get them into your calendar. It's a little bit in depth, a little more in depth. Training video will give you a ton more clarity around what that process is. And like I said, I can't wait to hear all of the great things, the more productive things that you guys are able to do with your business and your life. Appreciate you guys. Take care.